to Invest Insights. I'm Abby Maloney. I'm joined today by Scott Bullard, the president of Pfeiffer University. Scott, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Let's dive in. Servant leadership is a key component of the framework at Pfeiffer, and as president, you are, in essence, the chief servant leader. How does this principle shape and foster creativity and collaboration between faculty, staff, and students?
We try to put before our students at student orientation when they're freshmen, even at new faculty orientation when new persons arrive in our employ, the story of our founder, Emily Pruden, who, even though she was deaf and really had her mobility compromised by a diagnosed form of arthritis, her mobility was very limited. Nevertheless, she came to this region from the Northeast, intent on finding young persons who had little in the way of financial means, but were gifted. And she said that she would gather unto herself about 15 persons per year and would invest in those persons. The United Methodist Church learned what Emily was doing and decided to help her fund this, and decided ultimately to turn this into a form of higher education. Repeating that story early and often, keeping a statue of Emily at the center of our campus so that our students walk by that statue daily, helps us remind the students that even though today we have majors that Emily could not possibly imagine, like physician assistant studies, or a master's in business administration with a focus on financial fraud investigations, that at bottom, we are seeking to do more for them than provide them with a steady paycheck. We hope they will enter these professions with a reminder that they are here to serve other people, that's at the heart of who we are as human beings. We're here to help one another not only survive life, but flourish during this life.
Scott, one thing that has been a major challenge in higher education for years is cost. In regards to keeping education both cost-effective and equitable, what innovative strategies has Pfeiffer recently employed, and what do you believe needs to continue to change industry-wide for this to be the norm?
I think it's important to say that even though we are a private institution, the debt that our average graduate has on graduation day is about the same as the average amount of debt of a graduate at the largest public institutions in our state. That said, we've made some major strides in the area of our discount rate. We, for example, have migrated to NCAA Division III athletics, which means we no longer offer athletic scholarships here at Pfeiffer. However, we took the scholarship money that became available as a result of that migration and transferred those endowments to focus on academic scholarships and on need-based scholarship. We also have begun a process of a tuition by program model. So this also lowers the price of certain programs, certain service-oriented programs, wherein students are scholarship more heavily. For example, if they want to be an education major or a minister in the church affiliated with our denomination. On the other hand, we have higher priced programs. For example, our physician assistant studies master's program for students entering fields wherein they will be highly compensated.
The pandemic accelerated an already fast evolving economy, morphing the needs of the market and opportunities available to talent. What are the most significant recent shifts you have witnessed in student career desires? And how has Pfeiffer adapted to become more creative in their offerings to meet these new demands?
Pfeiffer has sensed a need in our region, both on the employer side and the undergraduate student desire side, to improve healthcare in this region. So in recent days, we have launched a new nursing program, which has one of the highest passage rates in the state of North Carolina for graduates taking their national licensure exam. But we have also in recent days noted that many of our students in computer science are easily getting jobs in the field of cybersecurity. This is prior to the Russia-Ukraine conflict, so we expect only increasing demand for such positions. So we have been engaged in a year-long study wherein the trustees, faculty, and staff had made determinations about academic programs, not only that they would like to invest less money in, where are we cutting expenditures, but what are those programs that we'd like to invest more in? So the trustees have noted the size of incoming freshman classes and have noted the majors that those students are declaring early. Exercise science, health and exercise science is one of those majors. We love health and exercise science, which has grown from 40 academic majors to over 80 academic majors in my 2 years here because of the flexibility of that major. So if you want to be a strength and conditioning coach at the collegiate or high school level, if you want to become a personal trainer, you can major in health and exercise science. But we have built this fabulous new campus in downtown Albemarle called the Center for Health Sciences. You can become a physician assistant through the offerings at that campus, or you can become an occupational therapist through the offerings of that campus. Those are master's degree programs, but 30% of the students on that campus majored in health and exercise science somewhere. So we've determined that we will invest more deeply, not only in the area of business and IT, but also in the health sciences fields.
And Scott, as we round out our discussion today, how would you define creativity and what does that look like for the university and higher education in general moving forward?
Abby, I think all of us are seeking to find those places where our great giftedness or our students' great giftedness intersects with the world's great need. And so I think it's important for leaders to set aside time for the best thinkers on their staffs, on their faculties, to think intentionally. On campus, that looks like our summer cabinet retreat for strategic planning. And we do that here every August. But I try in May to offer a theme for what the cabinet retreat will be about. Last May, for example, our new health sciences campus was built with room for a third program. A third academic program, and we only have 2 academic programs in that building now. In May, I informed each cabinet member that they could pair off with a faculty member and that the best idea would win, but that they would engage in a competition of sorts to determine, to pitch what that third academic program in the building would be. As a result of that competition, several potential programs were eliminated from consideration and 2 remained. Also, as an unintended result of those conversations, we will be adding in the coming weeks a new vice president's position with new emphases for the university. And so we look forward to those announcements. I just think it's important that leaders have their clearest thinkers set aside time intentionally on campus and off campus. Off campus last week, the president went with the chair of the religion department and the chair of the communications department to Dallas, Texas for about 72 hours to a conference focused on helping undergraduates find their calling. This was a wonderful time. We heard informal sessions from wonderful scholars from across the country who think well about vocation, who think well about regional and national needs. This was also a wonderful time because of the informal sessions, the ideas that were shared over dinner tables and in conference rooms. So I just think it's important for leaders to make sure that their best people and their clearest thinkers are taking time to be creative on campus, but also away from campus.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Scott, for today's discussion.
Thank you, Abby, for having me.
That was Scott Bullard, the president of Pfeiffer University. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to hear more CEOs and thought leaders share their opinions and advice on today's business climate. Until next time, I'm Abby Maloney, and this has been Invest Insights. Thanks for tuning in.